Lay my arms and rest your heart. Close your eyes, I'll try to ease the pain. I'll take you far away and I'll keep you safe, where the air is clean and the colors rolling. Sunlight filtering through the car trees, laying down on a pink flowery field. Warm summer breeze by the deep blue ocean will heal the pain and make it fade away. Take my hand and fly away with me. Might be let the colors take you home, and let the sunlight beds will fly across these boundless sky. The colors will take you home. Slow dancing in the darkness, we'll find that star, that endless sunset. Flying high over the mountains, where the air is clean and the colors rolling. Sunlight filtering through the car trees, laying down on a pink flowery field. Warm summer breeze by the deep blue ocean will heal the pain and make it fade away. Take my hand and fly away with me. Might be let the colors take you home, and let the sunlight beds will fly across this boundless sky. The colors will take you home, and your eyes will spark like stars, and rainbows in the sky. We'll be floating in the light of the colors in this wonderland. Your eyes will spark like stars, and rainbows in the sky. We'll be floating in the light of the colors in this wonderland. Let the pink, green and blue guide you home, and I'll be by your side to fly away with you, my dear.
Oh, welcome. Woman chica, kia ora, aya, bienvenida, everyone. It is so awesome to have you here live. Actually, for the second time, this is the second time we're running another cohort number 4 info session. We ran one about 2 weeks ago. We had about 30 people and a lot of people missed out. So we've brought it back again, but with a different lineup of our cohort alumni speakers. So I'm really excited to have Agustin, Fran and Holly here. They can give you a wave from their virtual screens. We are all really pumped to bring this session to life. And we also have our events associate, Sanchi, here from the Community Collective, who is our tech master in the chat. So she'll be sharing lots of links and questions and anything you need in the chat there. And so thank you so much for arriving here. If this is your first time using Butter, I just want to quickly show you around. We love a new tech tool, although we've been using this for 2 years, so it's not new for us. But if it's new for you, Butter is a tech tool actually by one of our members. So Anna Maria is the head of community at Butter. She was actually a cohort number 1 speaker as well. And she has built such an incredible community at Butter. But this tool really is for online conferencing, but it's really interactive. So you can see lots of reactions on the left. I'd love everyone to go in and just pick a reaction so you can kind of see what we're talking about. There's a soundboard in Butter that only I have access to, because you can imagine how crazy that would be. If you have a question, you can pop your question button up and we can pass the mic live to you if you like. Or, of course, you can pop anything in the chat and we can get to those questions as well. So lastly, before we kind of jump in, I just wanted to explain a bit about the purpose of today. So this really is to learn more about our cohort number 4. We have run this program 3 times now since October 2022. And so we have learned a lot, and we've really evolved this offering again and again with alumni feedback and interviews. We bring in learning designers from Scandinavia from the Chaos Pilot methodology to help us evolve this program. So there's about 45 people involved in either bringing this program to life or actually running it and supporting CCNs through the experience itself. I just said CCNs, which is what we call our members basically when you join our community. And so really we're going to hear from alumni about their experience. I'm going to walk you through everything in the program. And if you have any questions, we can get to those as well. But before I jump into the agenda and the flow, I actually just wanted to acknowledge the land that we are on today. Last week, I was actually at South Start in Adelaide, and I witnessed so many beautiful welcome to countries over there that I was just really inspired. And so I'd actually like to begin by paying my respects to the traditional owners of the land in which I'm tuning in from today. I'm based in Torquay, down in the Surf Coast in regional Victoria. This is my hometown, and I'm on the land of the Wadawurrung people. And I'd just like to acknowledge all the people that ever came before us and that are here with us today, and all the people that will join us in the future. And so if you don't actually know the traditional owners of the land you're tuning in from, that's totally fine. There's a link in the chat which has a beautiful map of all the Indigenous owners in the world, actually. It's not like a hardcore Bible, but they've done a really great job of mapping out all of the different lands and who is the owner of those, so you can have a look. And let's have a look at our agenda. So we're going to start with a check-in, which is a ritual we have here at the CC. Then I'll take you through the cohort. We'll hear from our cohort alumni, Holly and Augustine, and Fran will moderate that discussion. It's like CC and Inception there. And then we'll wrap up with next steps. And also we have a gift for all of you that we wanted to share with you. Today is actually the last day to apply for the cohort. So the deadline literally closes at 12 p.m. today, which is in 2 hours. So we really finished this at 11. There's an hour to apply. And if you're in, you can jump in and say yes. And if you have any questions, you can obviously just hang back and let us know. So before we jump into a check-in, we have another ritual here at the CC where we actually take a group photo at the start of a live session. Now, to give you the kind of ins and outs as to why we do a group photo, one, it's actually so you can see everyone's faces and actually get into the vibe of we are in a live call right now with many beautiful humans. So we have a ritual where we do a hand gesture. So if you want to jump on the photo, you can turn your video on. But Holly, can you give us a hand gesture and we'll all just copy you for the group photo? What are you vibing, Holly?
My favorite emoji at the moment is this one, where you go like that.
Okay.
It's
We're all doing, I love it. It's very Italian, Okay, we're all going to be very Italian. All right, we go 3, 2, 1. Fabulous. Everyone just looks like it's like chef kiss, Stunning. Thank you, Holly. Well, we're going to jump into our check-in. And so basically the purpose of a check-in is to give everyone a bit of a voice around the room. We run sessions very differently here at the CC, so we want to give you a taste. And so really we would like to actually hear from each of you. And basically you can type an answer in the poll on your left. And the question is, what are you hoping to achieve if you joined cohort number 4? We would really love to hear if you have any specific goals that you are trying to basically execute. Perhaps you want to launch a new community. Is public speaking on your radar at the moment where you really want to, I guess, improve? So I'd love to give everyone about 1 minute or so to write their answers in the chat, and then we will debrief all of them. Okay, we've got some awesome answers coming through here. I love this one from Luke. Learn the skills to really engage current digital community and get more people in the office and meet other amazing community managers. That's awesome, Luke. There's definitely a lot of connections that can be made at the Community Collective. We have over 119 alumni, and a lot of them stay still in the cohort. We already have 22 alumni signed up to join cohort number 4 for a second, third, or fourth time. So there's a lot of people that come back each time for you to meet. Potentially build a community in the second half of this year. Lucy, oh yeah, Luce, hey, it was awesome seeing you at South Start last week. That sounds like a great goal of just building a community from scratch. Brody, I wear many hats. I work for a not-for-profit, a magazine, and I'm developing my own brand on the side. Super cool. I love that. Oh, Brody, sorry, I pronounced your name wrong. I want to develop the skills to build stronger, more engaged communities that not only engage with what I do, but also actively take action. Yeah, it's like that notion of building like advocates and ambassadors in that sense. That's really cool. And Augustine, do you want to share more about what the one that you shared here? What are you kind of hoping for?
I love this because it's giving me flashbacks to going through the cohorts last year, being back in Butter, and what I'm hoping to have the space again to reflect, stop and reflect and think about the work I'm doing and learn and connect with others.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. It's almost like taking the learnings as well from previous iterations and amplifying that at Social Impact Hub. I'm so pumped for that. Okay, fabulous. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining in on the check-in. I think what that really shows is how aligned I think a lot of the goals are between people here. Something that we really do during the program is we make sure that in week 1, we basically allow all of you to set goals that you'd like to achieve yourself during the program, and then the goals that you really want to achieve for your role and your community, because we really want to make sure that this is actually not a waste of your time, that it's really tangible. You actually see results and you leave with the outcomes that you entered with. So whether that's launching a new community or upskilling in a specific skill, there's usually things that I've heard from alumni that they enter with specific goals and then they leave having gained either something completely different that was, if not more valuable in that sense. So I'd love to now take you through the program itself. Like let's cut to the chase and get into the fanatics. And I really want to dive into why we built the community cohort, kind of give you the context and the story behind it, because I think the origin can really give you an insight into why this exists and the people that it's for. So, why does our community cohort exist? Well, if you haven't realized that community is the new currency, something that we have witnessed in the industry is that businesses more and more actually prioritizing community, not just as a add-on to the business, but actually as an entire strategy within itself. The way to cut through the noise in the digital age of overwhelm and information overload is actually by building loyal advocates who not only believe in what you do, but contribute and grow it with you. Communities we are seeing in all different types of businesses, whether it's Lululemon, the apparel brand, launching ambassador programs all around the world where they connect incredible people just at yoga retreats who all become Lululemon advocates. Culture Amp, its valuation of $1.5 billion, started in Australia as a scale-up tech company that really helps people assess the culture in their team. They launched the People Geek community, which has hundreds of thousands of people all around the world catching up about HR and how to basically build a great team culture. Locally in Australia, Airtree does a phenomenal job of community building. This is a venture capital firm. They run a free Explorer program to help people learn about angel investing. They have a pioneers community for non-binary and female founders as well. And really, it's about looking at what else is happening in the world. So if you haven't seen the Swiftie craze, this cult-like following around Taylor Swift's brand has sent waves of hundreds and thousands of people traveling all the way around the world to follow her music brand and support this person. So, community can be incredibly valuable for businesses. It creates revenue, retention, referrals, advocacy, feedback, new ideas. You're just building this group of people who are super loyal around what you do. But building a community can be tough. Can be absolutely exhausting and sometimes lonely. Can I just get a raise of physical hands? Have you ever felt like building a community is confusing or hard, or you've just really just had no idea what you were doing one time, or someone didn't understand your role? You know, I told my grandma I was quitting my job 1.5 years ago to build a community-led business and become a community manager, and she just looked at me like, what? You know, so this industry is important, but it can be really confusing. And I don't think there are great standardized frameworks that are publicly readily available for a lot of people. And, you know, building a community can be a little like building a business. You know, you start off with this idea that you want to launch a new community, feels like it's going to be amazing. And you're like, wow, this is actually really hard. Why is no one joining? Or, you know, I've launched my tech platform and no one's engaging. And, you know, hopefully you never get into the pit of despair, but that is a possible place where you actually feel a bit confused and you doubt yourself. I've definitely been there multiple times. I built 6 different communities for 6 different companies, and I have felt that pit of despair multiple times. But the thing that makes it easier is when you have a group of people who have built communities and have walked this path before you. They have built bridges and they want to take you across. So hopefully you avoid the pit of despair. It's like when you drive a car and you don't have a destination or a map to get there. You know, you might end up where you want to go, but you might expend a lot more time, more money, and waste a lot of frustration and energy. So this is why the community cohort exists. We are building the bridge of support and actual tangible skills to help you build communities in a more efficient and enjoyable way. The Community Collective started as a meetup group. We had 17 community builders at the Commons in Cremorne in June 2021. This is Emma Watson standing up there. And we brought together a group of people because we were experiencing lots of challenges and we wanted to actually help each other. We never intended to build a business, but our free meetup community went viral and we had hundreds of community builders signing up to join our meetups. We were borrowing the Blackbird Ventures Zoom account at the time and just connecting over 70 people a month on a call to talk about what it was like to build community. And, you know, a year went on of this free meetup community and there was just this groundswell. People were asking for coaching and courses and educations and frameworks. And myself, Melia, and Jala, we were working full time and we didn't really have the capacity to provide all of that. So I personally quit my job. Melia and Jala joined the advisory board of Community Collective and we registered it as a company in July 2022. And then we designed the first community cohort and we spent about 3 months interviewing lots of community builders to understand why we need this kind of support and what support do we actually need. So this experience is not just a program. It is founded on hundreds of experiences and perspectives of community builders just like yourselves or operators who have a role that involves aspects of community building. And this really ties into our vision, which is to empower the world to build impactful communities. And so before I dive into the program Fanatics itself, I think it's also really important to explain why am I here? Why have I bothered to also be one of the co-founders and the host of a program like this? And so, as I've mentioned, I've helped build communities for various organizations, whether it's been a not-for-profit, supporting asylum seeker women to build their own businesses from scratch, building RMIT Activators community at a university, running 10 accelerator programs. We built the community from 500 to 5,000. We reached full capacity in a co-working space that was originally empty. And so I learned a lot about in-person co-working spaces at that time. And then I also joined the Startup Network, which is one of Australia's largest startup communities. There's over 60,000 people, and we ran memberships and high-scale events for founders of any stage. And then when I moved down to Torquay, I joined Happy Spaces Co-working. It's where I'm taking the call now, but I helped them automate about 9 hours of manual onboarding tasks to basically save their community managers hours of wasted time. And so this really has been my journey around community building and realizing that this is a niche space and it's really hard and that there aren't many people who get what we do, but when you find them, it becomes that much easier. But it isn't just me behind this. We have a whole team. We have Sanchi here, Angela, and we actually just hired 3 new people who will be announcing very soon. Our team has just doubled in the last month because there really is this growing need to build communities in this sense. We practice what we preach by also having a lot of ambassadors here as well, supporting what we do. And so this could be you. This could be you. You could join our network. You could get the access to the support that you need to actually rely on people who understand this world, because we have a lot of history in this space and we are going to be here for a very, very long time. I've personally dedicated my life to building this community, and I really hope that kind of resonates and that you realize that this isn't just a quick growth marketing hack, but we're here for a while to support people. So this really is the place where you connect and level up as an individual in a collective setting. And so who is this for? You know, I get a lot of questions around like, oh, I'm not a community builder. Like, I'm not a community manager. Is this for me? But, you know, you don't have to be a marketing manager to do elements of marketing. You don't have to be a sales rep to do elements of sales in your role. So a lot of the people that have gone through our program, they have titles such as founders, they are marketing managers, they are investment analysts, they are entrepreneur program leaders, they are general managers, they're systematic designers. If your role involves aspects of community building, or you are managing a community itself, or you are just about to launch a new one and you have interest for this community, then this program is for you. We have alumni from so many different types of businesses. These are all companies that have backed our program and put their employees through the cohort in the past, whether it's venture capital, accelerator programs, VCs, co-working, large tech companies like Canva and Eucalyptus. We really have just seen this groundswell of businesses actually prioritizing this space. And we're based across 9 countries. So no matter where you are, you can join the program as long as you have a Wi-Fi connection. Okay, let's dive into the experience itself. So I want to walk you through what happens when you join the program and basically what you get access to. So in week 1, we open our crazy wild door into the CC universe, which will blow your mind. We have hundreds of people on the other side waiting to welcome you in. So you will get access about 2 weeks before the program even starts, and you'll go through our welcome journey. And you'll get access to the portal, our Slack, the member directory. You'll get a cohort badge and copy to update your LinkedIn. And really, you'll understand the handbook and the guidelines around how we operate. And we'll have alumni hosts and mentors who are there ready to welcome you. They run dinners in Melbourne and Sydney as well. And we've got people over in Lagos and Nigeria who catch up as well. It's the second biggest country where our cohort is based, actually. We then dive into a kickoff call, because if you're not in those 3 cities, we want to connect with everyone online and we'll make sure you have everything you need. And then week 1 is really about that strategy. This is the backbone of the entire experience. You will leave with a completed community strategy for your business, for your role. So it's actually really actionable for you. And as I said, we set goals for yourself, your community, and then we give you our strategy framework as well. You then can opt in to be matched in a cohort crew with 2 to 3 other community builders to catch up and check in on your goals throughout the program as well. And then you'll get access to our community strategy template. So this is a blueprint that we have designed over the last 2.5 years with hundreds of community builders, asking them, what do you put in a community strategy? You know, we have a business plan, we have marketing strategies. Why don't we have a community strategy framework? So you'll get access to this template, and then we'll have 2 workshops in week 2 hosted by Ben Davies, who built some of the early communities at Canva, and he'll run us through the sections in this workshop. And for alumni returning, these community strategy workshops have been revamped and they'll be delivered by Ben instead of me in the past. So that would be cool for you to experience in a different light. Week 3, we dive into operations, and really we want to understand what processes do you have in place, because if we're going to be building a new strategy, we want to make sure that you're really efficient. So we dive into metrics that you're going to measure, how you're going to communicate the ROI of the community to your business to make sure that it's actually valuable. And we'll have various cohort workshops. So from week 3, we start bringing in our guest speakers from all around the world to basically share their insights with you in these 75-minute workshops. And we've brought in speakers from Culture Amp, Who Gives a Crap, Asana. We've got people from America, Canada, Australia, and all over who will be, joining. And so you can basically meet these people and grow your network in that sense as well. Week 4, we dive into public speaking. And I want to reiterate that everything in this program is optional. Nothing is essential. You basically pick and choose what you'd like to get access to. And people always tell us that people are thrown into situations where we have to public speak and facilitate, and we're community builders and we have to run an event. And so we want to make sure that you are communicating really clearly. And this is a skill that anyone should have, whether it's at a meeting or a 5,000 person event. So we dive into facilitation and the art of public speaking and preparation. And for anyone who wants to be in Melbourne, we also have an in-person workshop running on the art of facilitation as well. Oh, let's take a breath. Whew. Okay. We get about halfway through the program and we have a break week in week 5. We want to basically give you time to integrate everything that we have just gone through. We find the first 4 weeks are the most intense. And so we give a whole week where there's no live cohort workshops. And this is the time when you can finish your community strategy. And if you submit it at the end of week 5, you get feedback from our alumni editors directly on your template. These are people who've gone through the program in the past and they're rejoining to give you feedback on your community strategy. And we also gift everyone a book. A hard copy book will get posted to your door if you submit the template as well. But it's optional. If that's not aligned, that's totally fine. We have various kind of networking sessions, Cohort Connects, that are run by our alumni that you can join and meet people who are running programs or founders. Or if you need that one-on-one support, you can also book in one-on-one coaching sessions with Tim, Yana, or Ben. And then we get to the second last week of the experience. This is towards the end of May now, and week 7 is also about those operations and efficiencies. And we'll talk about automations, tech tools, really making sure that you have the kind of, I guess, the know-how about how to be extremely efficient now that we've just really upskilled in various different areas. Then we get to week 8. Woo, we've made it. Now you basically have an entire community in your corner. It's really about the connection. So we come back into reflection. We do a retrospective all together and really make sure that you are leaving as a connected group of people that you can rely on. And then you'll have 3 months extended access to continue using the portal. You get access to all the past recordings in previous cohorts as well. So you can look at all the different guest speakers that joined in the last 3 programs in that wealth and listen to it like a podcast. And we also have the in-person dinners at the end of the program in Melbourne and Sydney and Lagos in Nigeria as well to connect anyone who is in those major cities. And the last thing you'll leave with the program is you'll get a skills test result. So we really want to walk the talk. So we want to measure the outcomes of this program for you as individuals. So when you join, you'll rate yourself on these 4 key skills of strategy, operations, public speaking, and how well connected you feel to community builders. And then at the end of the program, you'll rate your confidence levels across those 4 key skill areas again. This is a skills test results from a previous cohort where the brown on the left is how people marked themselves at the start of 8 weeks, and the orange on the right is how they rated themselves at the end. So we have tangibly measured the outcomes of this program in just 8 weeks. And so we will send you your personal results and a graduation goodie bag at the end as well, virtually. So we should probably talk about the details, right? There's a lot in the experience, but when the hell is this thing running? Well, it's actually kicking off after Easter on the 8th of April and runs until the 31st of May. 8 weeks plus 3 months extended access. And there's an opportunity at the end of the program to renew into an alumni pass package. We have as well a lot of different alumni roles, but a lot of people stay on in our community because we basically catch up twice a year for 8-week intensive sprints, and then we decompress during the months in between so we can actually implement what we've learned in our skill set. We don't have like an ongoing membership. We don't run a membership or subscription model. So it really is the program as the cornerstone here. So what is the time commitment? You know, there seems like a lot. We all work full time. How are we going to fit this into our schedule? It can feel like we're already at capacity. So how can we possibly add something onto our plate? Well, after speaking to a lot of alumni, you know, we've designed this program so it fits into someone who is working full time. Everything is optional and recorded. Basically, it's as if you were at Coachella and, you know, there's 5 music stages at Coachella. You're never going to be able to go to all 5 stages at all times of the day to enjoy every single act. You know, you will pick the path that feels most relevant for you. And if you want to binge watch all the recordings and ask questions on Slack, that's great. If you want to go to all the live workshops online and in-person dinners, then that's amazing. You basically pick and choose what you can, basically what you have capacity for. But what I've found is that surrounding yourself with a group of people who are actively building a community actually amplifies your motivation and output more so than if you were just doing it alone. The actual scheduled times, this is in the Melbourne time zone. So every Monday you'll get an email about what's coming up. There'll be workshops 8 a.m. before work on Wednesdays and in the afternoons on Thursdays, with the networking and co-working rotating on Friday mornings. If you're based in New Zealand, Auckland, these are kind of a couple hours later for you. So these are around the 10 a.m. mark on Wednesdays and then Thursday nights. Or if you're based in London or Nigeria on the other side of the world, these are Tuesday nights and Thursday mornings for you, and Thursday nights as well. So really we try and schedule outside of the full-time working hours, because obviously we all have jobs in that sense. Or if you are in between work, you can still commit to something during the day as well. Okay, the last couple things for me before we throw to our alumni panel. The application process is to apply in the next hour and a half, basically before 12 p.m. If you are keen, it takes about 7 minutes to complete the application. And then you can simply submit the application, and then we'll review it on our end. There'll either be an interview with someone from our team or a video interview from just to make sure it's the right fit for the program. We meet every single person that applies. We have 39 applications right now, and 22 alumni already confirmed and locked in for cohort 4. So we expect the cohort to be about between 50 to 70, depending on where we land in the next couple hours. And then you'll receive a welcome confirmation, and then it'll be up to you to accept the offer itself. So everyone who applies, we'll book in a call and we can chat more about it. And then you can decide at a later date. In terms of the different packages, we have the live cohort. It's $1,800, and this is all in the Australian currency, and that gives you the 8 weeks plus the 3 months of program access. And we actually broke down the value of what we've offered in the program to really understand what goes into this, because we have a consulting agency at the CC where we deliver community strategy workshops into companies. And it's about $18K worth of value for $1,800. And so this is on the website page itself, so I won't run through absolutely everything. But we run these workshops and basically price them out at consulting rates, but obviously we're not going to charge the humble community builder and an employee these kind of public rates. So really we wanted to kind of break down the investment, and if you needed to share that with your manager for professional development budgets, you have these assets as well. There is a live cohort and coaching package. So if you want to add 3 coaching sessions with our free coaches, you can get that package. Or as well, we have a lifetime residency package. So we already have, I think, 8 people on the residency package who want to get access to our programs for life. And so this means that any program we run in the future, you'll get an email before saying that you're welcome to join again, and you'll get access to the new workshops, new speakers, new cohort, and basically go through it a second time. Because something that we've realized is that when you read a book for a second time, you pick something else up. And when you go through a program for a second time, you pick something else up, just as many of our alumni will share as well. I totally get that finances can be really tough. It is a really tough economy at the moment. So if you have any financial barriers to entry, we have a scholarship that you can apply for. This is in addition to your application. So the links are in the chat and you can apply for a scholarship. We have 10 full scholarships available, and then we usually get about 25 applications for scholarships. So then we might slice and dice them and allocate partial scholarships in that sense to give 20% off or 80% off to make it more accessible. And that's about it, because we really want to make sure that everyone has access to the education in this space. So I'm going to leave you with this quote, and I'm going to hand over in a moment. But, I just want to leave you with, it's not what you know. You could go online and find a lot of content and listen to a lot of types of community building tactics in that sense, but it's actually what you do with who you know. Joining a group of people who are this groundswell or who share the same values as you is a memorable experience, especially when it's a community for community builders. So this is an experience like no other. I'm going to be here for a very long time running it, because I just find it mind-blowing. And so I just, really hope that kind of shines through, and I'm really excited to see what you all decide. So with that in mind, I would love to introduce you to our alumni who've gone through the program itself, because what better way to actually hear about it than from them as individuals. So we have Augustine, who is the program manager at the Social Impact Hub, and Francis Go, who's the head of community at One Roof. And we also have Holly Hudson, who just moved up to Brisbane, and she is now the program manager at Spaces. So please, everyone, let's give a round of applause. And I'm going to hand over to our moderator, Fran.
Oh, what cool effects. Thanks, Paz. And hi, everyone. So great to see you all. It's my absolute pleasure not only to be a CC alumni, but to be having this conversation with all of you and sharing the amazing experiences that we're going to hear from Holly and Augustine. So thanks so much, Paz, for that overview. Makes me want to do it again, actually. And I joined Cohort 3, the recent one. So this is definitely CC and Inception at its finest. But let's kick off. So Augustine, I'm going to come to you first. As a program manager at Social Impact Hub, can you kick us off by sharing why you decided to join the recent cohort that you did, and what value did you leave the cohort with?
Sure. Good morning, everyone. I'm joining today from Garigaland, a place where I have lived and worked for the past 5 years. And so last year, the community collective kept popping up on my LinkedIn, and I was clicking and reading through, and it just looked like the perfect program for me. I have had community roles in the past, so I've been the executive director of a big body, and I had a community and partnership role at an incubator. So I felt like I knew a lot about community, but it was always learning by doing. It wasn't really like any education and no course or any formal, program that could teach me how I could do my job better. So I think that's what inspired me to join the program, the opportunity to learn best practices in my field. So that's, I guess, what prompted me to apply initially. And sorry, did you ask? That was it.
So that was the why. Love that. Such great motivation to join. And I think a lot of us can relate to that, especially if some of us have community written in our roles. And the second part of that was, what value did you leave the cohort with?
So I left the cohort with a lot of ideas and excitement of my role, even though it was something that I've been doing for years. After meeting so many driven people with similar roles, I felt very excited for what I was doing. And something else was the network, definitely. So that network of driven peers.
Amazing. Love that. It's definitely the ultimate community of community builders, for sure. And I can definitely relate to that, having been through the cohort. Awesome. Thanks so much, Augustine. Holly, same question for you as someone who's the program manager at CoSpace. Why did you decide decide to join the cohort that you were in, cohort 2, and what value did you gain the first time around?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. I am up in Brizzy, so Meanjin country. Super excited to be joining this session. So, yeah, I was a part of cohort 2, which was about mid last year. And yeah, I've been in community roles my entire career, but I was always wading the water without really like a strategy, learning by doing, definitely. So when I came across CC, it's obviously the whole community is very enticing, but I'm very process driven. So I was very excited to implement a proper strategy and actually be able to measure the KPIs so that I could explain the value of my role, because I often struggle to communicate that value. So that really enticed me. And yeah, the value I got is obviously the network side of things. I loved connecting with, CCNs, not just in Australia, but globally. And I also found, for me, the operational side was really beneficial. I, similarly to what Paz said, I streamlined a lot of the operations side. So I streamlined about like 10 hours per week of like onboarding and application based bits and pieces, which was really, really beneficial to my role as well. So that was awesome.
Amazing. Some of my favorite words there, Holly: efficiency, systems, operations, and the ability to measure, metrics, most importantly. I think a lot of people feel like community is organic or intangible and it's fluffy and you can't pin it down. But actually, there is so much strategy behind it that absolutely allows us to create something measurable, because we can't manage what we can't measure. So such a good point, Holly. Love that. Could definitely talk about that all day. But I'm going to pass the mic back to Augustine. Can you share with us, as someone who runs programs, what were some really tangible takeaways that you left with?
Yeah, so I would say that just being on the other side, just being a program participant was incredibly useful for me. Everything was super insightful, from the interview process to onboarding, workshops, everything. But then tangible, I would say, it was really great for me to learn about new tech tools that I could implement to run my program. I have implemented a few after being in the community collective, and the community strategy, so the framework that we worked on, that was also great for me to sort of structure things that I was sort of doing, but doing it better. So community guidelines, member roles, those were some tangible outcomes that have improved my program in a great way.
Love that, Augustine. And I think, as someone, for many of us here on the call who run programs, create programs, take people through cohorts, it's so nice, as you said, like feeling a little bit pampered, being the participant. So and not having to be the one organizing the program, and also seeing what best practice is like. So you make such a good point about the abundance of resources. You'll have, everyone here, if you join, you'll have templates coming out of your ears. It's the best thing in the world, having someone and a team who have actually curated and created and tailored the amazing frameworks that allow you to create an incredible community. So such a good one. Amazing. All right. So Holly, I heard that you're joining cohort 4, and this is going to be your third time around. Would love for you to share, why are you joining the program again? What keeps you coming back? And yeah, please share.
Yeah, sure. So to echo Augustine, the strategy was so helpful, because at the time I was building community in my last role, and just doing that, like completing that framework and getting the feedback on it, was so valuable, because I think in a lot of my roles I've worked in quite a small team, so it's kind of just been handed over to me to complete. Getting that feedback was really, really valuable, and just bouncing ideas off people. So I'm joining as an alumni editor, so I'm basically now going to step into that role and hopefully add value to all of you and the future CCNs as well, and just that knowledge sharing piece. And I also am coming on the journey again to build another community in my current role from the ground up. So I'm really excited to just kind of rinse and repeat, because it's never really the same journey. It's obviously similar frameworks and pieces of advice, but basically just kind of doing it all over again as well. So very excited for that.
Wow, congratulations. That is so exciting. And everyone here would be so lucky to have you back as an alumni editor. How cool, Holly. You've got so much experience to share, and how great that you're going through it again, but with a different community. That is so awesome. And I think it just also shows how timeless a lot of these resources are, that you can apply them to so many different communities and situations. So it's just, so much value. And Agustin, you too are coming back for a second time. What's your reason for returning?
I would say that I've done a lot of progress and improvement in my program over the past few months, and even myself, as I have achieved personal and professional growth after participating in the program. But there's definitely room for more, and that's what I'm after. I think having that opportunity to stop and reflect and work on doing my job better, and also develop new skills.
Love that. So good. It's a constant evolution, and the communities that we run are constantly growing as well. So I sometimes find I have to keep up with my growing community as well at one roof. And it's so useful to have this amazing community and group of community builders. And going back to what Paz said before, and Holly as well, it's lonely sometimes, and you're given the task just to do community. And we don't have to make it up as we go. It's great knowing that there is this whole legacy of a community who have come before us, who can help us on our journey. Okay, now back to both of you. So Holly, question for you. If someone here is unsure about whether they have the capacity to join the program, what advice would you give them? And how did you yourself juggle the program with your full-time role?
Yeah, sure. So, I've kind of never had an issue with procrastination. I'm like the opposite. I'm, as I said, very regimented and process driven. And I think, my piece of advice is this is such an investment, obviously, in your role or your community that you're applying it to, but also in yourself. So honor that, you get out what you put in is kind of what I always say, and set the boundaries. So for my cohort, the workshops were, 10 to 11 a.m. on a Tuesday. And I kind of said to my colleagues at the time, obviously lots of balls in the air, but I just said, that's my time of the week. And, we're going to all reap the benefits of kind of attending these workshops and putting the effort in. I think that it's just so beneficial, and it's really something to consider when you do opt in, is to really put the time in, and honor that investment in yourself.
Amazing. And it's kind of like a double honoring. You're honoring yourself, and then it's going to, as you say, be transferred to your role and into the community that you're building, or the various ones, Holly, that you're building. Incredible. So good. Agustin, question for you, and then Holly, I'm going to ask you the same question as well. But Agustin, what advice would you have for those here who might be sitting on the fence about joining Cohort 4?
I would say that if you have, or you would like to have, a community role, don't hesitate, go for it. It's so important, as Holly was saying, to invest in your own development. I see it as a shortcut to where you want to go. The image that Paz shared at the beginning of the bridge, that was very clear, and I think it's super accurate how investing in yourself in a program like this can help you avoid so many problems and get where you want to go faster.
Love that. Holly, same question to you. What advice would you have for those who might be sitting on the fence when it comes to joining Cohort 4?
Yeah, same. I think just do it. I think there's always hesitation around investing in yourself, especially when, as I said, you have a lot of balls in the air. But it's one of the best things I've done in terms of my personal development and career development, and you will get the value back tenfold. Even though Paz, quantified the numerical value, I think on top of that, you really meet some amazing people, and you can't always quantify that value. So definitely, if you have any questions, reach out to us or the CC team, because it is one of the best things you'll do.
Amazing. Thank you both so much. I'm feeling so much love for the CC. It's just really reinforced just how wonderful this community is, how much Paz puts into it, and her team as well. Holly and Augustine, so excited for you both returning to this cohort, and whoever joins is going to be so lucky to have you both in it, because you've been through it before. You'll have so much wisdom. You can speak to your experience. I don't think we've mentioned the Slack as well. That's just, it goes off. It's incredible. I've used it so much to ask questions or ask for examples of things, and people sharing how they are doing things in their own communities. One of my favorite things was the strategy framework, not only putting it together, which really helped me think about community strategy as pertains to the community that I'm building at One Roof, but getting insight into how other people are doing it as well. You get to have a peek into different organization strategies and be really inspired by what they're doing, and providing them with thoughts as well. So co-creating not just your community, but multiple communities as well. It's so rich with value, and the vibe is amazing. Like, it is next level when you're actually inside. And I think it's a beautifully structured program. As Paz was saying, you get to meet people in person, which is also really wonderful. And I could talk all day about how much we love the CC, but I'm going to pass back to Paz, and just want to say thank you so much for lending us some of your time to love on the CC. Paz, I'm going to pass the mic back to you.
Oh, thank you. Round of applause. Thank you so much, Fran, Holly, and Augustine. I feel like I should just take you three everywhere with me when I talk about the cohort. Just follow me around all the time, which would be fabulous. But no, that means just so much having you all here, taking an hour out of your day to share about your experience. And I know everyone here, feel free to connect with Holly, Fran, and Augustine on LinkedIn. Send them a message, tell them what you learnt. Ask them a hard question if you want. I know Nanisha's got something for Augustine, so I'll let you follow up with him directly. But now I would just love to bring this home. We've got 1 hour before applications close, before cohort number 4. Dun, dun, dun. Feels like we need like a big timer or something. But, we've got about 7 minutes before we wrap up. So I wanted to just take you through some final stats and then next steps. I'm going to share that gift. And then if anyone has any questions, I'm going to hang back on this call for about 5 to 10 minutes. So if you want to chat to me directly, just one-on-one, you can do that as well. But yeah, just thank you again, Holly, Augustine, and Fran. That was really insightful. And so something I wanted to run you through is actually just a look at the stats of how the past cohorts have gone. You've heard their alumni experience, and now I kind of want to show you visually what that looks like. I'm definitely a visual learner. And so this is our crew catching up in Lagos, Nigeria, with our alumni host, Maggie, there from last year. But I wanted to just show you some of the growth and the stats, because cohort number 4 will be probably the biggest and most evolved experience that we've run, given that we've just grown year on year. But cohort 1, started with 36, and we measure NPS, which is a net promoter score around how likely someone would be to recommend the program itself. And it was the strategy template at that point. It wasn't an element to submit. But as you can see, when you got to cohort 2 and cohort 3, we've grown in numbers and the experience and in the outcomes of submitting that strategy template, because there are so many options to catch up online, whether these are group photos from our speakers, or it's people just catching up in their own cohort crews, or whether it's people just catching up for dinners across different various locations. You really are joining this global network. So one of the things as well is we pick a different author per program, and we are yet to announce the author for cohort number 4 and 5, but we'll tell you which book will be featured and posted to everyone who submits the community strategy template in the coming weeks. This is our cohort 1 book from Tim Duggan, who is one of our coaches. But really, I just want to say a massive thank you. It's been lovely to have you all here. This is the end of our cohort info session, so I appreciate you all joining live. Just to wrap, as I said, applications close in 65 minutes. So if there's a time to act, it is now. Pop your details in the application. As I said, you submit the application, we'll have an interview, and then if you are accepted, you'll get an offer, and then you decide whether you accept that offer or not. So it is a process over the next coming weeks. If you need to chat to your manager or your boss about professional development or getting approval to join the program, we've created an entire PDF with all the details that a manager would want to see. So you can download that in the chat. As I said, connect with Agustin, Holly, and Fran on LinkedIn, shoot them a message. And as well, we're actually catching up in Melbourne on this Friday. This is a public event that we're running, a private event that we're running at the CC. But feel free to just let me know if you wanted to attend, and we can send you the link there. And then lastly, we will have our gift. The gift. I feel like we need like a drum roll in Butter. All they have is this drum, which doesn't quite do it, does it? Anyway, so we want to gift you all with free and complimentary access to our resource library. So we have built this over the last couple of years to build a tech tool directory with over 100 different tried and tested platforms in community building, and then also content, books, podcasts, education, all the kind of good stuff. So we'll send that in the post-event email for you to access, just as a thank you gift for coming along live. Okay, we can't wait to welcome you in. I'm so pumped. I don't know who's going to apply. I'll see you on the other side. I'm really excited. I'm going to go do a happy dance now because I'm just feeling so good. But thank you again, Agustin, Holly, and Fran for being here. Sanchi as well for your support. If you have any questions, feel free to hang back. I'm going to play our outro music, and at the end of the song, I'll hang back for any questions. But have a beautiful day. I can't wait to read your application. Bye, everyone.
This ain't Texas. Ain't no hold 'em. So lay your cards down, 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 down. So park your Lexus and throw your keys up. Stick around, round, 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 round. Stick around. And I'll be damned if I can't slow dance with you. Come pour some sugar on me, honey, too. It's a real live boogie and a real live hold down. Don't be a bitch, come take it to the floor now. Woo! There's a tornado in my city. In the basement. That shit ain't pretty. Rugged whiskey. We're surviving. All the red cup kisses, sweet redemption, passing time, yeah. Ooh, one step to the right. We headed to the dive bar we always thought was nice. To the left, then spin me in the middle, boy, I can't read your mind. This ain't Texas, ain't no hold 'em. Lay your cards down, 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 down. So park your Lexus, throw your keys up. Stick around, round, 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 round. And I'll be damned if I can't slow dance with you. Come pour some sugar on me, honey, too. It's a real live boogie and a real live hold down. Don't be a bitch, come take it to the floor. I'll be damned if I cannot dance with you. Come pour some liquor on me, honey, too. It's a real live boogie and a real live hold down. Don't be a bitch, come take it to the floor now. There's a heat wave coming at us. Too hot to think straight, too cold to panic. All of the problems just feel dramatic. honey too. It's a real life boogie and a real life hold down. Don't be a bitch, come take it to the floor. I'll be damned if I cannot dance with you. Come pour some liquor on me, honey too. It's a real life boogie and a real life hold down. Don't be a, come take it to the floor now. Ooh. Take it to the floor now. Ooh. Hoops, stars, to the floor now. Ooh. Take it to the floor now, ooh. And I'll be damned if I cannot dance with you. Baby, pour that sugar and liquor on me too.